In today's video, I'm going to show you 7 tricks that are going to spruce up and improve the visual style of your drawing, taking it from a plain plan like this to something like this one in just a couple quick steps, as well as a ton of other tricks along the way. Let's jump into today's video. Just because our drawings need to show technical details and are typically straight lines along with some text and dimensions doesn't mean they can't look good and clear in the same process. So we're going to work on improving the looks of our drawings, and this is primarily going to help architectural, landscape, civil, concepts, and even some mechanical designers along the way. We're not going to be fully photoshopping anything, but we are going to add some color and style easily with the built-in tools within AutoCAD, as well as a couple that I'm going to share later that you can get for free or cheap as well. So first up, the biggest improvement that we can do to almost any drawing is adding in hatches, and not necessarily the plain gray or solid color hatches that we're used to. Ones like this example here, where we've got some dynamic shading as well as gradients and transparencies added. So if you're not familiar already, AutoCAD's hatch tool allows you to hatch using a variety of properties. So I'm going to show how we could add one here for these trees. I find that these hatches show the tree a little bit better in this case, but this works for anything lighting in particular, as well as any greenery and landscaping. But this also works for mechanical and part drawings too, which I'll jump to next. To get started though, let's say we want to create one of these kind of faded or shaded hatches. You're simply going to start the hatch command. You can do that by typing in hatch or BH. We're going to start with a circle over here as our boundary. Now this could be your object, but I like to kind of spill things over a little bit to give it that messy hand-drawn look without spending too much time. Now you could draw this using the tool that we're going to talk about later, which is a freehand tool and makes things kind of jagged and look like they've been sketched by hand. But I find if you're fading them out, a straight up circle works well. So again, we're going to start that hatch command. We're going to choose select object for our hatch and then select our circle. In the flyout here for your pattern, you want to go to the top and choose a solid. Now a solid green hatch would improve this tree here, but if we select it once we've added it and choose gradient under our pattern option here, you have a handful of different patterns that you can use to the left here for trees and round objects. Obviously you'll probably want to go with a circular gradient, but you could also go with one that's on a line or vertical fade, as well as one here that kind of fades in and out from the center depending on which color you choose. All of these work. From there you can adjust how transparent this is going to be, from no transparency to completely transparent. I like to stay in this 30 to kind of 60 range, going closer to 60 if I just want a subtle bit of shading, and closer to 30 if I really want this to stand out in my drawing. From there you can also adjust the angle if it's an angular gradient, if that matters to you. And then when you're happy with it, you can hit escape to get out of that hatch command. I'll typically delete that circle I used for my hatch and then send it to the back. So if you select an object and go to draw order and send it to the back, now the line work will be above it when plotted. From there you've got a hatch that you can then use and copy around to your other trees and then scale them based on the size of your tree. So you could go a little big, you could go a little smaller. You're looking for that kind of hand colored style. If we just now select all of our hatches, right click and send them all to the back, this is going to give you the best kind of look and view of your trees and hatching. So you can see they all kind of have a different effect, and I'll show you when we do a plot preview in a second how this is going to look when you have your final product. Another cool trick with hatching is that you can actually use multiple hatches in the same object, and this is going to give you a completely different kind of layered look. So you can see here I've got an angular hatch on top of a brownish hatch for this deck, allowing me to show different patterns and colors to differentiate it from the surrounding line work and objects in a drawing. Now this is great for larger scale site plans where you really need to differentiate different zones or areas of, say, planting or construction. You can show gravel hatches for driveways and paths, and then you can show grass or green hatching around planted and green areas, or even some blue fades for, say, a pool or water feature within the property. All of this is going to give your drawings that little next level step up look, and it's going to really impress clients, especially if they haven't seen this kind of work from AutoCAD or technical drawings before. So if we flip over to our view here, we type in plot and then go to the preview. You're going to want to make sure you have your plot transparencies checked on, and then the proper plot style depending on your standards and what you're using. But if you check your preview, you're going to be able to see how this is going to plot. And in particular, I'm concerned about the deck and the trees area here. And this looks great. It looks a lot more colorful and a little more flashy than if this was all just black and white and boring and kind of plain and simple. I find that adding these hatches greatly improves the readability and kind of understanding of drawings, especially for those that don't use the software often and are looking at this simply as a concept drawing. It better explains the differences in a lot shorter time. Now, moving on to one of my other favorite kind of tricks to making drawings look a little bit better, and that is using the hand-drawn styling that's available within the software. Now, you have two options that I use or have found to work the best, and one is just simply the sketch command. So simply typing in sketch will start the sketch command, and then simply click again to start, and you don't need to click anymore. Simply moving your mouse around is going to draw like you've been just dragging a pen or pencil around in the drawings. Clicking will end it, and then if you hit enter, it's going to solidify or end that command. Now you can see I've just got a rough hand-drawn object here, but this is great if you want to rough in, say, concepts or hand-drawn looking detail or foliage or planting. This is something that a lot of people don't use or know about, and it gives you that kind of pencil drawn look and feel to your drawing. Now similarly, you can download a Lisp, which is a AutoCAD script that runs a little app or program within the software. There's one called Freehand Lisp, which I'll put a link to in the description. You can find it free online by Googling it. But if we load that in here, so I'm just going to type in freehand, and I'm going to show you what this is going to do. It's going to allow you to convert line work into something that looks like it's been drawn by hand while still maintaining its original properties. Because you can see this sketch object is just a bunch of tiny lines connected to each other because AutoCAD is just starting and stopping a bunch of times. But in this case of freehand, so we'll get rid of these hatches to make this look a little bit clearer here for the example. So we'll just isolate those, and we're going to convert these white lines here into a freehand drawing. So if we type in freehand and hit enter, you can choose your scales. You can adjust these later, but you're probably going to want to stick with the defaults of kind of 2 and 3. The overlap amount, which you'll see in a second, I'll make that 3 and hit enter. The wiggle amount, will enter that as 3 as well. And now it's going to ask me to select my objects. If I just select all of these lines here, we can zoom in on them after we hit enter and see what it's done. So you can see it's kind of overlapped and squiggled all of these lines, and this is going to give the appeal or the look that all of these were hand drawn and sketched in. So what you could also do, we're going to unisolate our hatching. We're going to send that to the back. And you can see that it kind of looks a little bit more hand-drawn. And then the next thing you could do too is you could select all of these lines, start the p-edit command, tap M for multiple, and what you could do is add a little bit of thickness to all of these lines to make them look like they were drawn by like a Sharpie or a fat-tipped pen. So hit enter, and you're just going to type in W for width. And then you can add a bit of width to these lines. So I'll use 0.3 for example here. And then if you want it a little thicker, you could tap W again and say 0.5. And now if you hit enter to exit that command, you can see they've all thickened up a little bit, and you're going to get that plotted style that these were hand drawn in by a felt pen, kind of marking things up. So this is a great way to add a little bit of artistic flair to boring line work within AutoCAD. Now, moving on to tip number 3, and that is to use better blocks. Now, this could be as simple as looking for and downloading better blocks for your drawings, or it can be achieved by creating some of your own and spending that little bit of extra time to make higher end, higher detailed and quality blocks for your civil or landscape drawings or anything else that you're working on. I'll show you a few other examples here in a second, but you can see this drawing here looks a lot better with these more highly detailed tree blocks than it would if you just had a circle or a label calling out a tree. And you can get even more detailed ones than these with a lot more shading and texture to them. You can also have customizable blocks if you didn't know, those that have different features and options built right into them. When you click them, they'll have flyouts that allow you to choose the different, say, type of tree or different type of light or chair or desk, which leads me to some of the other custom blocks I've got in my drawing here. So if we type I for insert, you can see some of the different blocks within the drawing. You can see a potted plant here that will come in when I click it. It'll give you the ability to rotate it and scale it as well. But you've also got different blocks like keyboards and phones and desks and doors, tables, lights, chairs, computers. All of these improve that overall readability of your drawing while adding little finer details that may not matter in the design, but somebody reading them will likely notice or at least perceive the drawings of being a higher quality or more professional by having these custom blocks that you can then reuse in drawings one after the other. Alright, so before we move on to the next tip, if you haven't already, don't forget to check out my complete CAD toolbox, which is my course and set of templates and downloads that is available for sale now at the link up above and down below for a discounted rate for viewers such as yourself. It's got everything from my AutoCAD Kickstart course for complete beginners all the way up to my AutoCAD Fundamentals and Workflows course, which is meant to take intermediate and beginner users all the way up to a confident professional style level of drafting. It's going to teach you everything from creating your own templates and title blocks, bringing in layers, blocks, site plans, XREFs, creating production style drawings and layouts, as well as packaging things up to plot for PDF or send all of your files away to a client. It also has my productivity webinar, ebook, and checklists included as well. You can get that at the link down below today. Alright, so next up, this is going to be a quick one because I've already covered it in a previous video about text, and I have another one coming up about more customizable text tips and tricks. But a big one for making your drawings more readable is making sure you use hatches and frames for your text. So this is a background hatch or mask, as it's called a lot of times, and this can be adjusted in the properties. So if you bring up your properties menu here by holding Control and tapping 1 when you've got any text selected, and you can scroll down and simply add a background mask. Now you can see right away the difference that makes in readability and visibility in the drawing, and it doesn't always have to be on top of a hatch, but putting a background mask behind your text in general is a good practice to get into, because if your text ever happens to be moved or slightly near other line work, it just ensures that it's always readable and stands out. Same goes for adding that frame. It can be done down at the bottom here by just simply choosing text frame yes or no. I like that frame because it makes you visually bring your eye to that piece of text. So for proposed features and important features in my drawing, I'll typically add a text frame to draw the reader's eye to that particular spot in the drawing. This is a great trick to guide a reader or viewer to specific areas and features of your drawings to ensure they stand out and don't get missed when building or designing from a plan. Alright, so the next tip is another quick one, and that is to ensure you're using line weights, line styles, and color to differentiate your designs and styles. Now, this is best done through layers as much as you can, assigning one layer to a specific feature or object style within your drawing, and then color coding and layering and line weight settings to match. You can see this drawing is relatively well organized by color and then style and line type. This just helps bring all your drawings together and make them readable right from the go, and it's easy to edit things later on. If you say want to change the color or line type of an entire layer, you can do that in that layer properties menu here, where you can just change the line type of any given layer, and all of the ones within the drawing are automatically going to change with you. This is a great way to set up your drawings from the get-go and not have to do a lot of rework later if your style or design changes at all. Now, moving on, the next one is one that I love and highly encourage for mechanical users, but also for site and architectural, and that is some sort of a 3D isometric concept view on your drawings. Including this is a great way to instantly boost the value and quality of your drawing. You can see this simple drawing example here. We've got a couple viewports set up. You can see I can move them around. We've got two viewports set up of a bracket, top and a side or section view of this bracket. Now, it's pretty easy to model, say, this one here in 3D, which I would recommend you would do while building this. So model it in 3D, and then you can simply create a 3D view to the right here. If you don't have one, you could always ask AI, which I do have a course and video coming out soon about AI on creating better drawings, 3D drawings, as well as a ton more when it comes to design and the industry and using AI in it. But for our example here, I'm simply going to copy this viewport I've got here. I'm going to put it over to the right, and I'm going to show you how to add a 3D view. So you've got to have a 3D object. So if you're in architectural or civil, you'll probably have a site plan that has contours. So you're going to have some 3D objects. In my case here, I've taken this line work, I've extruded it to the given dimensions. So I've got a 3D object to the right here. If we go back to our layout, I can simply double click in the viewport, pan over to our view here, and then type in orbit. Now I'm able to pan around, find the view I'd like. You can also use the view cube or choose a custom view if you want a specific one. But what I want to edit is the style or the view visual style, and I'm going to change that to something like hidden or concept. This is going to give me the best possible look of that 3D object, and printing all three of these views together along with maybe say a detail and some notes is going to give your viewer and reader of the plan the best perspective of this object while instantly increasing the quality of your drawings. Lastly, while we're not going to jump into Photoshop or anything today, if you do really want to get a step up and improve your drawings, one great way to do that would be to create all of your line work within AutoCAD, then plot it in simply black and white with just the line work, and take it into a Photoshop or say GIMP software where you can then add paint and brush strokes behind all of the trees, and then replot that, bring it back into AutoCAD as an image, and overlay it or line it up with your scale drawing, and simply add all those colors as a background image that you can then plot. Now this involves a lot more work and is typically only going to be reserved for landscape architecture and some architectural drawings. While everything that I've shown you today is completed and done within AutoCAD, there is that ability to go outside of the software and kind of marry it with another design software. But that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed these tips and tricks, and if you have any questions, don't forget to leave them down in the comments below and let me know what you do to boost the visual style of your drawings. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and check out my AutoCAD Fundamentals and Workflows course available in my complete CAD toolbox at that link down below. Cheers and have a good one.